and welcome to another Moon Yoga class with me, Dee. Today's class is centered around the new moon in Gemini. The zodiac sign of Gemini is associated with the vishudda chakra or throat chakra and focuses on the themes of sharpening your communication style, writing and making media, pairing on short-term collaborations, socializing with new people, becoming active in your community, and flirting and joking. Gemini rules over our lungs, shoulders, bronchial tubes, arms, hands, and capillaries. With all this in mind, I've created today's sequence to help us embody the airy energy of Gemini and to clear away any blockages that we may have within. For today's class, you may consider having blocks, a pillow, and/or blanket available. I welcome you to gather your props, hop into something comfy, and we'll get started. To begin class, let's come to a comfortable seated position on your mat. This can look like sitting with your legs crossed, one foot in front of the other, sitting on your heels, on a block, or you can stack a pillow and blanket. If you're sitting on your mat cross-legged and you find your knees are far from the mat, I invite you to try placing a block, blanket, or pillows under each leg to bring the earth up to you. Or you may consider sitting on a block or blanket. Find your preferred seated position. As you're ready, close down your eyes or have a soft gaze and begin to notice your breath. Maybe you focus on the tip of your nose, noticing how it feels moving in and out of your nostrils. Maybe you would rather focus on feeling the subtle movements your body makes as you breathe. If you'd like, you can place one hand on your belly and the other on your chest. Do what works for you to tap into your breath. As you continue to notice your breath, let us acknowledge the land on which we reside and the peoples who have stewarded this land throughout generations. If you know the names of these peoples, you can name them now. And if you don't know their names, I encourage you to take time after class to research. I'll have a link below as a starting point. Let us also acknowledge the land of yoga's origin, the Saraswati River and Indus Valley of India, and all the teachers and students who have kept this spiritual wisdom alive for us to be able to practice today. As you continue to notice your breath, let us now set our sankalpa, our intention for this practice. You can utilize the energies of this moon or anything else. Take a moment here to ask yourself, what energy should I focus on during this practice? Let the answer come to you. First thought, best thought. Next, we will chant Om 3 times together to help us open up and harmonize our vishudda or throat chakra. Om is the primordial sound of the universe. It represents the ethereal cosmic vibration from which everything is said to have emerged. As you're ready, inhale through your nose and begin. After your last Om, you can release the mantra and begin to notice how you feel. As you're ready, I welcome you to flutter your eyes open, and we will begin practicing the Simhasana pranayam, or lion's breath. I will model it and explain it, and then we can practice together. For the Simhasana pranayam, you will inhale through your nose, and on your exhale, sticking your tongue out with your eyes wide. Exhaling through your mouth with an ah sound if it feels good. We will do this breath 3 times together. As you're ready, inhale through your nose. Exhale, tongue out, eyes wide. Ha. Continue 2 more times at your own pace. On your last exhale, you can release the pranayam. Take a moment here to notice how you feel. Before we get into the asana portion of this practice, a gentle reminder to let me be a guide and your own body, mind, and spirit be the authority. During this practice, allow yourself to feel active kindness in as many shapes as you can. Let's begin with our hands. Bring your arms in front of you with a slight bend in your elbows. Palms are facing away from you. As you're ready, begin to stretch your fingers as far away from each other as you can. Press the heel of your hand forward and breathe. Exhale, you can release that stretch, and if you'd like, you can shake out your hand a bit. When you're ready, bring your hands back out in front of you. Spread your fingers wide once more. And this time, attempt to turn your fingers to point away from each other, rotating your wrists outward. See how far you can go as you continue to keep your fingers spread and the heel of your hand pushing forward. Maybe your hands stop where your fingers point away from each other. Or maybe you're able to rotate them all the way around where your fingers are pointing down. Only go as far as feels good and continue to breathe. You can release that and give your hands a shake if you'd like. Now bring your hands back out in front of you. Palms are facing away just as before. And instead of having a static stretch here, let's bring in some movement. Inhale, stretch your fingers away from each other. Exhale, bring them as close together as you can. Inhale, spread. Exhale, come together. Continue this flow for a few cycles of breath at your own pace. Good. Now, with your arms still out in front, fingers pointing towards the ceiling, begin to curl your fingers down towards the base of each finger. Inhale, straighten your fingers. Exhale to curl. Continue this for a moment at your own pace. Very good. Now, bring your fingers together and begin to touch all your fingers to your thumb. Then extend everything back out. Inhale to touch, exhale to extend, creating this beak-like shape. Last movement for this area of the body. Interlace your fingers together and begin to roll your hands one way for a few breaths, and then the opposite direction. Wonderful. Now begin to make your way to Barmanasana or tabletop. Shoulders are just over your hips and hips over your knees. If you find this is painful for your knees, I welcome you to utilize a folded blanket underneath them to add some padding. As you're ready, on your next inhale, arch your back, look up. Exhale, round your back, chin towards your chest. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Continue this Marjariyasana and Vitalasana Vinyasa, or cat-cow flow, for a few more rounds at your own pace. On your last exhale, you can release the flow, coming back to a neutral spine. Inhale, reach your right arm towards the ceiling any amount. Exhale, thread your right arm underneath your left, placing your shoulder on the mat, looking towards the left. Keep your left hand where it is, pushing into the mat, or you have two options. Option 1, extend your left arm out. Option 2, bring your left hand toward the small of your back, reaching around towards your right hip. Find your preferred arm position and breathe. On your next inhale, right hand goes back towards the ceiling. Exhale it back down to the mat. Inhale, reach your left hand towards the ceiling. Exhale, thread your left arm under your right and breathe. Inhale, reach your left arm back towards the ceiling. Exhale it back down to the mat. As you're ready, curl your toes under and lift your hips up and back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. If you'd like, you can play around with widening your stance of your hands and feet, keeping in mind that active kindness as you explore. You can stay in stillness in this shape, or if you'd like, add some movement by bending your knee and then the other, walking your dog. Another option is to find any intuitive movement that your body wants in this moment. Don't forget to breathe. On your next exhale, come to stillness if you aren't already there. As you're ready, begin to bend your knees down towards the mat, gently placing them on it. Bend your elbows, keeping them close to your torso as you bring your chest down to the mat. Hands are underneath your shoulders, and legs are as wide as feels good. Inhale, reach your shoulders toward your ears. Exhale them down your back as you lift your chest. Look up. Stay here for a moment if it feels good, and breathe. Exhale back down. Let's do this 2 more times, a little faster. Inhale, shoulders toward ears. Exhale, down your back, lifting your chest. Look up. Exhale, back down. One more time at your own pace. After your last Bhujangasana or Cobra, tuck your toes under and lift your hips up and back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. Take a moment here to incorporate some movement if you'd like. If you're not already there, you can come to stillness. And on your next exhale, shift your weight into your left foot. Inhale, raise your right foot off the mat any amount, keeping your hips square. Foot can be flexed if it feels good. Drishti or gaze is toward your foot or navel. Draw your shoulders down your back and breathe in Eka, Pada, Adho, Mukha Svanasana, one-legged downward dog. Exhale your foot back down to the mat and gently bring your knees to the mat. Sit on your heels if it feels okay and begin to roll or shake out your hands and wrists, giving them a little break. As you're ready, come back to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. Shift your weight into your right foot, and on your next inhale, lift your left foot off the mat any amount, keeping your hips square. Left foot is flexed, drishti or gaze at your right foot or toward your navel. Shoulders down your back and breathe. Exhale your foot back down. Inhale, come into plank, shoulders over wrists, knees off the mat. You may like to shift your feet back a bit here if it feels good. And on your next exhale, your knees gently down to the mat, bending your elbows, keeping them close to your body as you lower your chest down. With your hands underneath your shoulders, on your next inhale, straighten your arms to lift your upper body, hips, and legs off the mat, leaving only your hands and feet touching. Keep your shoulders above your wrists and away from your ears. Drishti or gaze is up and breathe in Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Exhale, slowly bring your whole body back down to the mat. As you're ready, tuck your toes under and lift your hips up and back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. I invite you this time to find stillness in this shape if you haven't already, and breathe. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Begin to make your way to Uttanasana or forward fold at the top of your mat. To get there, you can take small steps forward, one big step, jump, or even hop. Find what feels good for you here as you bring to mind your sankalpa or intention for this practice. As you arrive in Uttanasana or forward fold, notice if you'd prefer to widen your stance or make the space between your feet smaller. Allow your upper body to dangle like a rag doll. And maybe you'd like to try shaking your head yes and no as you breathe. As you're ready, on your next exhale, bend your knees and begin to roll up your spine on your inhale slowly. Take a moment here to notice where your feet are. And if you'd like, shift them closer or wider, whichever may feel best for you in this moment. Interlace your fingers together, palms facing away. Exhale, push your hands forward, stretching into your hands. And on your next inhale, reach your interlaced hands above your head any amount. With every inhale, reach your hands up towards the ceiling, and every exhale, ground down into your feet. If you'd like, on your next inhale, come onto the balls of your feet and balance there as you breathe. Or, on your exhale, bring your heels back down to the mat. Inhale to raise, stay there. Or exhale, heels down to the mat. Release your arms down to your sides on your next exhale. Again, interlace your fingers, but this time place the opposite index finger on top. This may feel a bit awkward, and that's okay. We want to practice on both sides of our body to help balance the energy. Exhale your palms out and away from you, and when you're ready, raise them over your head any amount. And if you'd like, incorporate lifting your heels and lowering them on your inhales and exhales, or stay in stillness as you breathe. Exhale your hands down to your sides slowly. We will be getting into a balancing pose next, so place your feet where they create a steady foundation for you. When you're ready, shift your weight into your left foot. Find a non-moving point to set your drishti or gaze upon. And start with placing the ball of your right foot next to the arch of your left. Hands can be on your hips, at Anjali Mudra at your chest, or raised above your head any amount. Stay here balancing for a moment. Or if you'd like, you can place your right foot anywhere along your left leg except your knee. If you find yourself a bit wobbly today, feel free to use a wall, sturdy chair, or table to help with balance. Breathe here in Vrikshasana or tree pose. Exhale, gently release the pose, and if you'd like, take a moment to shake out your left leg. When you're ready, find your steady stance, feet hip-width apart or wider. Find a non-moving point for your drishti or gaze. Shift your weight into your right leg and place the ball of your left foot next to the arch of your right or anywhere else along your leg except your knee. Find your preferred placement for your hands and breathe. Exhale, gently release the pose, and you can shake out your leg if you'd like. Take your time here, coming to Brahmanasana, or tabletop, bringing to mind your sankalpa as you move. Once on all fours, step both feet back into plank. Roll your heels to the right. You can keep your feet where they are or try to stack them. Balance on the outer edge of your right foot and inner edge of your left if you aren't stacking your feet. Lift your left hand towards the sky, any amount, and attempt to keep your body in a straight line as you breathe in Vasisthasana, or side plank pose. If this is too much for you, you have an option to bring your left foot flat on the mat in front of you to make a stand. Breathe. Exhale, release the shape, and we'll do it on the other side. Come back to Brahmanasana, or tabletop. Step your feet back into plank and roll your heels to the left. And you can stack your feet or leave them where they are. Lift your right hand towards the ceiling any amount, and you can use your right leg as a stand if you'd like. Breathe. On your next exhale, gently release the pose and take your time coming into a kneeling position in the middle of your mat. Align your hips over your knees, and on your next exhale, stretch your left leg out to the side and rotate it so that your knee is pointing upward. Bring your left hand to your left leg. Reach your right arm up and over towards the left, allowing your left hand to slide down your leg as needed. If you'd like, you can always add a block to your left hand. And if your knees are bothered by this, you can try adding a folded blanket underneath. Drishti, or gaze, is straight ahead, and breathe in Parigasana, or gate pose. Exhale your upper body back over your hips. Inhale, left arm towards the ceiling. Exhale, place your right hand next to you, reaching your left up and over towards the right. Breathe. Exhale, gently release the pose, coming back to kneeling. We will do the same thing on the other side. Exhale, extend your right leg out to the side and rotate it so that your knee is pointing up. Bring your right hand to your right leg or a block. Left arm reaches up and over towards the right. Breathe. Exhale your upper body back over your hips. Inhale, right arm towards ceiling, any amount. Exhale, place left hand next to you, your right reaching up and over towards the left. Breathe. Exhale, release that pose, coming back to a kneeling position. You have three options for this next pose. Option 1, sitting on your heels, reach your hands behind you, fingers facing toward or away. Inhale, reach your hips forward and open your chest to the ceiling as you allow your head to fall back slightly. Option 2, hips over knees. Place your hands on the small of your back, fingers facing downward. Inhale, reach the top of your head towards the ceiling. Exhale, arch your back, opening your chest and pushing your hips forward. Option 3, tuck your toes. Inhale, hands towards ceiling, any amount. Exhale, one hand to a heel and then the other. If you'd like, you can also use blocks, placing one on the outside of each foot. Whichever option you chose for your Ustrasana or camel, reach your hips forward and open your chest as you breathe. Exhale, gently release the pose and come back to sitting on your heels. As you're ready, reach your forehead towards the mat as close to your knees as feels good. Reach back to grab your heels with your hands. Lift your hips up and roll forward, rounding your back until your arms straighten. Breathe in Sasangasana, or rabbit shape. Exhale, gently come back to sitting on your heels. Begin to make your way to lying on your stomach. Place your arms by your sides, palms up. Rest your chin and forehead on the mat. And on your next inhale, raise your head, chest, arms, and legs off the mat. Draw your shoulders back and broaden your chest. Breathe here in Salabhasana, or locust pose, for 2 more breaths at your own pace. When you're ready, exhale, release everything down. Let's do this one more time with the option of bending your knees, reaching back to grab each foot. On your inhale, lift your chest and knees, grounding through your abs. Draw your shoulders away from your ears and keep your neck long by slightly tucking your chin. Drishti or gaze is straight ahead. If this doesn't feel good, continue with Salabhasana just as we did before. And breathe. Exhale, release everything down to the mat. With your Sankalpa in mind, make your way to Balasana or child's pose. Knees can be together as you lean over them with your arms at your sides, or you can spread your knees as far as feels good, extending your arms out in front. On your last exhale, place your hands under your shoulders and gently lift yourself up to seated. Take your time here while you extend your legs straight out in front of you. Place your hands next to your hips, about shoulder width apart if that feels good. Fingers can point toward or away from you. On your next exhale, lift your hips up and press your feet into the mat. Open your chest and gently tilt your head backward if you like. Stay here, or you can come back to seated with legs extended. Bend your knees, feet flat on the mat, about hip width apart. Slowly lift your hips upward to form one line from the knees to neck, parallel to the mat. Breathe in your Purvottanasana, upward plank, or Ardha Purvottanasana, reverse table. Exhale, slowly lower yourself down to the mat. If you're not already there, you can come to lying on your back. Feet are flat on the mat, knees bent. Your feet can be about hip width apart or wider, and ensure your knees are over your ankles. Arms are along your sides, palms down. On your next exhale, tilt your pelvis towards your head and lift your hips up toward the ceiling. Press through your arms and shoulders if it feels good. Chin reaches towards ceiling. Breathe in Setu Bandhasana, or bridge pose. Exhale your hips slowly back down. We'll do this 2 more times, a little faster. On your next exhale, tilt your pelvis towards your head, lift your hips towards ceiling. Hold this position, reaching your chin towards the ceiling for a moment. And if you'd like, you can always place a block underneath your hips. Exhale, remove your prop if you have one, and slowly bring your hips back down to the mat. Last time. Exhale, tilt your pelvis and lift. Hold as you breathe. Exhale back down slowly. Extend your legs out long. In this next pose, it's important that you do not turn your head one way or the other. Doing so could cause injury. With this in mind, I'd like for you to watch me model it first, before attempting it on your own. As you exhale, roll your hips and legs towards the ceiling. Use your hands to guide your body into one straight line from chest to toes. Support your back with your hands, elbows on the mat, about shoulder width apart. Ground down through your shoulders and upper back. You can stay here with your legs extended toward ceiling, or you can try slowly straightening your legs and aim to bring your feet to the ground behind you. If your feet don't touch the mat, you can try utilizing stacked blocks, a stack of books, or pillows to have a space for your feet to land. Now that you've seen the pose options, I welcome you to try it on your own. If you find that neither of these poses feels good, you can try beginning with your legs extended, reaching your feet towards the ceiling any amount, but you keep your hips touching the mat. And if you'd like, you can do this same thing against a wall for some support. Find what feels good for you and breathe. As you experience this pose, remember to ground through your shoulders and upper back. As you're ready, on your next exhale, slowly release the pose by bringing your feet down toward the mat as slowly as you possibly can. Don't forget to engage your core here as you do so. Take a moment here to relax as you lay on your back with feet extended. As you're ready, bring your legs as close together as feels good. Place your hands under your hips, palms down. Press your elbows into the ground and lift your chest up. Tilt your head back and let the top of your head rest on the ground. If your head doesn't touch the ground, that's okay. It doesn't need to. Breathe here in Matsyasana or fish pose. Exhale, slowly release this shape. As you're ready, bring your feet flat to the mat, knees bent. They can be about hip width apart or wider. Exhale your knees to one side and stay there for a moment. Inhale your knees to point towards the ceiling. Exhale them to the other side. Hold here as you breathe. Inhale your knees back to center. Exhale them to the opposite side. Continue this flow, either allowing your knees to stay to one side for a moment before switching, or flow as you breathe. Inhaling your knees towards ceiling, exhaling them to one side. Go as fast or slow as you like. Exhale, release this flow and extend your legs out long. Exhale your left leg towards your chest and shift it towards the right. into a twist. Place your right hand on your left knee if you like, and or place a block under your knee. Shoulders are connected to the mat. Drishti or gaze is towards the left. Arms can be straight out to the sides in a T shape or elbows bent, creating a cactus shape. Breathe in Jatara Parivartanasana. Exhale back to center. Extend your legs out long, and on your next exhale, reach your right leg towards your chest. Shift it towards the left. Place your hand on your knee or a block underneath. Shoulders are connected to the mat. Drishti or gaze is towards the right. Breathe. Exhale, release the twist, and bring both knees toward your chest. Grab a hold of your shins, knees, or just give yourself a nice big hug. If you'd like, you can reach your nose towards your knee, and I invite you to play around with swaying back and forth here. Find what feels good for you in Pawan Muktanasana, or wind relieving pose. Exhale, release your legs out long. Arms come along your sides, palms up or down. If you'd like, close down your eyes or have a soft gaze. If lying in Svanasana isn't comfortable, please find a comfortable position you can relax in for the remainder of class. In a moment, we will take 3 deep belly breaths together. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling out the mouth with a sigh. With each exhale, allow your body to relax even more. As you're ready, begin inhaling down into your belly. Exhale out your mouth with a sigh. Inhale. Exhale. Last time, inhale down into the belly. Exhale with a sigh. Release the deep belly breathing, and I invite you to bring your attention to your breath. Notice how it feels moving in and out of your nose, just as we did at the beginning of class. Continue to notice your breath without judgment or the need to change it. I will leave you here for the remainder of class and let you know when it's time to come back. If your mind wanders, bring it back to your breath. If the mind wanders, gently bring it back to your breath. As you're ready, I welcome you to begin making small, gentle movements. Maybe you start with wiggling your fingers and toes, or you can shift your head from side to side. Find what feels good for you here as you slowly and gently bring your awareness back to your body. As you're ready, bring your feet flat to the mat, knees bent. Roll to your favorite side using your bottom arm as a pillow. I invite you to take a moment here to offer yourself some gratitude for taking the time and effort to make it to the mat today. If you'd like, you can also offer some gratitude to the moon and anything else you may be grateful for today. When you're ready, bring your top hand palm down in front of your chest. Push into your hand to bring yourself up to a seated position. With your eyes still closed or with a soft gaze, we will chant Om 3 times, just as we did at the beginning of class. As you're ready, inhale through your nose to begin chanting. Bring your palms together at your chest and bow your forehead toward your fingertips. Raise your head back up and allow your eyes to gently flutter open. Take a moment here to notice your surroundings, slowly bringing yourself back into your space. I thank you for joining me in this new moon in Gemini yoga class. If you liked this video, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe so you don't miss out on future classes, and if you're able, please donate as reparations, along with purchasing mats and blocks for students to use in in-person classes. Donation information is in the description box below. Happy new moon, y'all, and blessed be.